back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Big welcome back to my beautiful returning subscribers, and a big congratulations to this month's free tarot reading winner. Be sure to drop your comment below and be sure to hit your notification bell because I'm going to be releasing a new name or announcing a new winner this week. So be sure to drop your comment below if you would like to be entered for a personal reading with me. If you have found yourself here for the very first time, we want to welcome you to this space. Please pull up a chair, get cozy, and we're going to have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together. I would also love a chance to read for you as well, so be sure to drop your comment below, hit your notification bell and your like button. It helps me to bring you guys more content. And it's just a wonderful way for me to be able to give back. So don't forget to hit your notification bell, however, so that you can be notified if you're chosen, and we'll be able to get the ball rolling. For today's pick a card reading, we are looking at the question of, is it mutual? How do they feel versus how do you feel about them? We have 3 piles to choose from today. We have pile number 1 here with the Disney Villains Tarot and the Red Carnelian Palm. We have pile number 2 here with the Mystical Medleys Tarot and the Blue Aragonite. And we have pile number 3 here with the Happy Tarot and the Malachite. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting today, and I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, today we're asking Spirit, is the feelings that you have for the person on your mind mutual? Do they feel the same way? What are their feelings versus your feelings? Pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the Red Carnelian Palm or to the Disney Villains Tarot, and this is your reading. How does this person feel? Is it mutual, the feelings that you have towards them? Do they feel the same way? So we're going to start with your feelings towards them first. And then we're going to compare your feelings to how they're currently feeling for you. So we're going to spend a little bit less time on your current feelings. We'll spend a little bit more time on their current feelings for you so that you can do a comparison. So is it mutual, these feelings for pile number 1 with the person on their mind? How does pile 1 currently feel about the person on their mind at this time, please? We have the Wheel of Fortune. And there's an emphasis with this card on Sleeping Beauty, and so there's like that storyline of being pricked on the finger and falling asleep for 100 years. There could be separation here, for instance, not for everyone, but take it as it resonates to your situation. But it's a really strong card of connection. So you may feel like this person is your person, for instance. You feel really driven to them or drawn to them in some sort of way. And yeah, it does feel like they feel far away from you or something, because I just keep hearing that Maggie Rogers Light On song. It's like, if you keep your light on, I'll keep my light on. We have the 4 of Cups and we have the 8 of Cups. And there's an emphasis on having walked away from the situation when I should have probably surrendered to my feelings instead of walking away from it. And there's a feeling of helplessness in the present because you may have moved into other dynamics, for instance. You may have moved into this 10 of Pentacles period of your life where you're building coin, you're building homes, you're building, all sorts of abundance in the practical realm around you. But it's often, it's like, truly it's like hindsight is 2020, because sometimes we'll build up a mountain of abundance for ourselves, and it's only when we're halfway up that mountain that we take a look around and realize, wow, this isn't as satisfying as I thought it would be. And then our awareness gets brought back to something else. So there's a feeling of connection, but feeling like I slept on it or I didn't act upon it, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because I should have just surrendered to it, but I felt sort of helpless in that moment. Because now there's an emphasis too on feeling like I've lost a piece of me in a way. I'm looking at Captain Hook, and he's got that hook for a hand. And when I looked at it, I saw question marks. So it's like, how do you feel? So you're concerned about how this person is experiencing the connection. Are they experiencing the connection in the same way that you are? And you're experiencing it in a very intense way. 2 of Cups, because it does feel like soulmate energy. It does feel like somebody who wants to physically come back together as well, both in a sexual sense, but also just physically speaking, because I feel like I'm looking at the Temperance energy, even though it's the 10 of Cups, or I'm sorry, the 2 of Cups. And there's this emphasis on still wishing that you could be in a relationship with this person, thinking that they could perhaps be soulmate energy at this time too. I'm looking at the Emperor on the back of the deck, so an emphasis on Taurus. Can we clarify, please? How does pile 1 feel about their person? The Page of Swords. And you may have gone to school with this person, and I feel like one of you had a great smile, a really charismatic smile. I always think about that when I see the Cheshire. That's not even the Cheshire cat, but I feel like there's a really strong smile here. But there's also like some critical lessons that you've learned because of hesitations here as well. There's a feeling of being too afraid to step outside of my comfort zone to reveal something. And I've learned a really harsh lesson because of that. So you may feel kind of like you're licking some wounds because of some truths that have come out. 6 of Coins. And now I am feeling a real sense of karmic connections in your present realm. So you may have moved into a karmic relationship, or what you would define as a karmic relationship. I feel like you spent time investing here. And there's even an emphasis of like gaining some of your confidence because of the position you hold. It's like you've stepped into a role, and it sort of is a defining role for you in your life. It could be parenthood, it could be job, for instance, but it's something that defines you in this moment. But the truth is that if we kind of look back and go back to the drawing board, you do feel like this connection that you're asking about today was like a definitive emotional defining moment. You may have sort of created a path for yourself, or a position for yourself in life that gives you a lot of respect and gives you a lot of security in the practical realm, but there's just something that is missing there emotionally for you. And it's like you don't, because of the investments made, you're hesitant to create change there. We have the Queen of Cups, and there's an emphasis on motherhood here as well. But also feeling sort of overlooked too. Like it's like feeling exiled in a way from your heart space. We have here the Page of Coins, and you'll see there's 3 coins in this Page of Coins, which is talking about new foundations perhaps that you've built upon, foundations that you wish to have with the person on your mind. And then there's these hyenas, which is like a scavenger energy, and wondering, why did we have to go through all of this? Why did I have to go through all of this? But your higher self is sitting here guarding the veil saying, I understand the lessons that were necessary. I brought you to the precipice of change, and there were opportunities in the past that you feel like you should have taken. And now that sort of haunts you a little bit. There's the insecurity. You worry about perhaps what impression you left this person. But let's take a look at their side. Is it mutual? Do they feel similarly to you in this situation? And there's also a fear coming forward that you may fear that you left the wrong impression as well, like you did not care. How does this person currently feel for pile 1, please? Is it a mutual energy? How do they truly feel? We have the Hierophant. There's an emphasis here that this person feels like the two of you learned valuable lessons together. And they are still very possessive over you, actually. Here's the Page of Cups. They are still very possessive over the connection. They have not released the connection in that sense. And in the same way, as I said, this reminds me of the Temperance, and here is the Temperance for you. So they definitely feel very similarly in the dynamics in which they wish for reunions. They don't want to believe that it's over. They haven't started out the reading with the same sense of connection, but I feel like this person's a little bit more stubborn to that awareness side of life. They may be a little bit less self-aware or spiritually aware than you are in this moment. They have definitely indicated here with the Hierophant that you're both sort of have the inability to commit in the past. You both were sort of afraid of judgment, afraid of loss in that moment. And it was that hesitation that brought the two of you to this place right this moment too. This person thinks about reaching out to you. And they're calling themselves like emotionally ill-equipped. It's like I was ill-equipped to be able to recognize the opportunity when it was in front of me. But an emphasis on the two of you sharing an institution or education in some way, both spiritually, but also in the practical sense. And the truth is that they're saying that in the past, they really, really cared about you. They really wanted to tell you that too. They really wanted to see where this could go. And to be honest with you, despite the fact that they're not willing to sort of admit it out loud of like, maybe this is a soulmate connection, all of these lilies under here does indicate a certain degree of understanding surrounding the spiritual love between the two of you. It's just the inclination. It's just the beginnings, though, with the aces. You know, we need to build upon it. There's also this emphasis here on concern for their practical realm in the present as well. So they may have also invested. And that could be why they hesitate from responding to that impulse to reach out to you, because that definitely was in place as well, because they're concerned about that realm. They don't want to create havoc for you. They don't want to create havoc for themselves. So there's risk involved with them reaching out to you. And there's the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Back of the deck is the Sun and the Five of Cups. There's a lot of sadness coming from this person when it comes to their feelings in the present moment for you, Pile 1. They want to bring their truth to the light. They want to bring it to the surface. And there's a sense of you kind of lighting up the darkness for them in that moment. It's like they feel like you were a breath of fresh air. You were like literally sunshine in their life. But there is an emphasis on youth and on childhood, and not being sort of feeling too vulnerable to express themselves. And now they really kick themselves because of that. They really miss you. There's an emphasis on that, and on wanting to almost apologize for not acting in time when they could have. They do feel like the practical realm does control their ability to create the reunions that they're hoping for as well. How do they currently feel, please, about pile number 1? Is it mutual? It feels very, very mutual between the two of you, if I'm honest. You have Dark Woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. This could describe you or perhaps other karmic partners. And we have a wedge. So someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. And the wedge, I feel like, was in place in the past. It was a fear. Could be a person today. But I feel like it was fear in the past of this connection. Now we have family sorrow. And we have here dog. A distant friend is thinking of you and you feel very far away. There's a lot of loyalty that this person has towards you. But they also have a lot of loyalty to their practical realm. They feel like they don't want to intercept in any loyalty you may have. But there's so much sadness in what could have been built in this connection, because they feel like, again, they feel like they could have had this Ten of Pentacles with you. We have marriage reversed, but now that seems to be the issue. Commitments in the present realm, karmic relationships. It's appearances are deceiving because you think so highly of this person despite your karmic situation, and they think so highly of you. But we have rat, someone's working against you or behind your back, and that's an emphasis on the ego, an emphasis on the gnawing sort of loss energy that I keep feeling through the Five of Cups, this gnawing energy that just won't sort of leave us alone, because it's teetering on a bit of obsession, on codependency here. So definitely very, very mutual energy between the two of you. The spark is still there. Despite a lot of disconnect, perhaps the spark is still there between the two of you. How do they currently feel, please, for pile number 1? Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. And this could have been a very flirtatious connection in the past, where that was their way of expressing their love to you, was by trying to heavily flirt with you. The innuendo, you know. It says go ahead and make the romantic gesture, and that was the biggest lesson that they've learned here, that is added to this codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So not only is it mutual, but they're saying that it's teetering on obsession for them. It's a little bit addictive to them. They feel like it's unrequited. It was coming in the reverse. But the truth is that you both feel like it's unrequited, and you'd both be wrong, because you're both very mutually still attracted to each other at this time. I'm going to pull out some message cards to see what their current thoughts of you are for pile number 1, please. What sort of thoughts run through their mind for pile 1 at this moment? They would love the opportunity to communicate with you just as much as you would like to. You really have been by my side, and I cherish you for that. So despite the disconnect that they feel in the present, you have never left them. There's been a physical separation, but not an emotional one here. The truth is that they really want to reconcile with you. And you're so different, and that's why they love you. A couple came out here. It was you, it was always you, and I'm so attracted to you. You don't know what you do to me. And these feel like they're truths that have been following them through time. I act happy, but I'm not happy. And back of the deck says, I do want us to be in a relationship. I still want us to be in a relationship. How do they currently feel at this moment for pile number 1, please? Twin flame connection. And they wonder if they're too late for a second chance. This came out reversal. They may be sort of aware that they can't take a chance right now. And I feel like you might be watching their social media. They haven't come forward and saying that they're spying on you, but you may be watching their social media. You see right through me. So there's a sense of being ignored even. This will never ever be over for me. I wonder if I still have a chance with you. How do I currently think and feel for pile number 1, please? I am aglow with thoughts of you. And this is from a Sarah Harmer song. And it's a really sweet song because it talks about strong nostalgia. And it talks about sort of remembering things the way that we want to. So it's really 6 of Cups energy floating around, somebody who doesn't even care if how they remember you is true or not, because it's a beautiful thought, it's a beautiful dream. Missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. You make me want to be at my best, and I pretend I don't care. They wanted to be perfect for you in the past because you're perfect for them, or you're perfect for me. Seemed perfect to them, and they really didn't want to be seen as anything less than that. Pile 1. Let's get a charm bowl, please. What is the last thought that pile 1's person had about pile 1 in the bowl? 8 of Swords reversed. They thought about the steps that they didn't take. Their last thought about is sort of this kicking themselves energy of like, I was planning on taking action. There's the 2 of Pentacles in the bowl. It's like I was planning on taking action, but I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the experience to be able to power through in that moment. And now there's so much unfinished business between the 2 of you, and they're really feeling that. Now it's like a different type of prison that they feel like sort of holds them back. It's like the same sort of dynamic, yet different elements controlling the prison cage. In the bowl today, we have the timepiece sticking right in front and center. We have the letter K and the letter U. We do have the Hierophant steps, I think, of commitments and marriages. We also have the lipstick of attraction, so somebody who still finds you very attractive. We have the Rabbit, somebody who's still very physically drawn to you, and somebody who wants to explore this connection in a physical sense. We do have the Dragonfly, someone who understands it will require changing direction and being really hungry for success if they want to see anything movement in the future of this connection. How I feel about you makes my heart long to be free. We have the 4-leaf clover of good luck for the Divine Masculine. If he would just taken courage, he would have gotten exactly what he wanted in the past here. We also have a playing card of the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 8 of Wands, and live your dream. So there's an emphasis here on wanting to take action, but being halted because of position. We also have here a commandment that says thou shalt not kill. So it's like, please don't take away the hope that I still have left, that there could be a future in this connection, even if it seems like a difficult venture. All right, pile 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates, and I'm praying for you. Your guides have given you some tools today to reflect upon this connection, but ultimately you're the boss on how you're going to handle opportunities in the future, any sort of proclamations that you want to take, and they will follow you down whatever path you choose. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story in the comment section below, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed by hitting your notification bell, your like button, and be sure to drop me a comment so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my links below for Etsy for personal reading if you feel called to, and for Instagram, where I actually have an offer to win a free mini read over there this week, so be sure to go and drop your comment for that as well. But I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you have a beautiful week. Hello, pile number 2, you were drawn to the blue aragonite, or to the Mystical Medleys Tarot, and this is your reading. Is the feelings that you have for this person mutual? Do they feel the same way? So we are going to begin with your feelings for your person. We're going to spend a little bit less time on you than we will on your person, because we want to do comparison with your feelings and theirs. So how does pile 2 currently feel about the person on their mind, please, at this time? How do they currently feel about this person? You have the Five of Wands. The Nine of Wands. We're going to put it all the way over here so we have enough room. So Spirit says that you're having a hard time moving forward from this person at this time, and there's this feeling of holding on to the energy with a lot of force. Yeah, like it's a habitual thing we're doing. It's like we think about this person often, perhaps a lot in the evenings. You could be even dreaming about them as well. We have the Lovers on the back of the deck, ruled by Gemini. Let's clarify this message, please. And the Five of Wands, I feel like in the past of this connection, you could have felt like there was a lot of competition for their attention. But there's this feeling of letting our insecurity get in the way. And this is a spider, you know, so it's this image of like understanding, awareness coming in. It's like an air energy of understanding where I went wrong, and really weaving our own destiny when it comes to the frustrating energy that we feel in the present moment. Because I feel like the frustration was there in the past and it's continued into the present. But it's like this feeling of being frustrated with ourselves, frustrated with the situation. I don't know why, but I just got the name Roseanne, so just keep that as it resonates. The Star, Aquarius. And there is this perhaps belief system surrounding the connection for you where you wonder why you had to experience it in the first place. If it serves, the only purpose it served was to bring you to this place of overthinking, of holding on, of frustration. You may wonder, you know, why can't I release this person? You may struggle with that. It's like, why can't I let them go? And almost being afraid to let them go at the same time. But there's a message coming through about embracing the in-between and how nothing will go to waste. Spirit says nothing that we experience in the past, even if it leads to frustration, is going to go to waste, because the purpose of the frustration is to bring about the truth of the situation. It's like we've had clarity about the past and where we went wrong. We know where we went wrong, and it stings a little bit. You know, it's like when we think about this person in the past, it kind of stings a little bit to know that we had opportunity and we didn't embrace it in the moment. So it's like a bittersweet energy of awareness. And you can see in this card too, with the Ace of Swords, that tree has been cut off. So it's like there's this bittersweet energy coming through of like, what could we have built together? And you perhaps think about that quite a bit, of like, we could have built a lot together. What could we have grown together by this point? And now we're in separation. It does feel like it's in physical or emotional separation, perhaps with both. We have the Five of Swords and we have the Ace of Cups. And you can see on top of the Ace of Cups is this ghost from the past. It's like somebody that you really put up on a really high pedestal, because it's like the longer period of time that you're disconnected from this person, the more saint-like they become in your gaze or something. It's like that's what we do when we lose something and we grieve. It's like when someone passes away, we grieve so heavily that all of the wrongs that they may have experienced in life just kind of go away. They don't matter anymore. And so there's an influence of that here for you too. Pile 2 is this internal conflict. But I also feel like I feel like you're really taking on a lot of the responsibility as to why things are the way that they are in this present moment. It's like you're taking on too much of the responsibility. It's like should be a shared burden perhaps here. And I do feel like this person could be feeling very mutually exclusive to the same regard as you are in this element, because there's two people here in the Five of Cups, but you can see one of them is blindfolded. So you may feel like you're really alone in all of these feelings, but the truth is that this internal conflict could extend to the person on your mind at this time too. But I feel like there's a real strong pain in the separation here. And there's almost like there's been realizations, there's been truths that have pierced through the darkness, but they still have left us with limitations as to how we can apply those truths to this connection now. Because there's this feeling of, I don't want to release it, but I know that, however, all of this internal conflict is just leading to a lot of frustration and holding energy. But let's take a look at, how does this person feel about you? Is it a mutual energy for pile number 2, please? Oh, we just lost one. The Ten of Cups reversed. The Page of Swords. Emphasis on school. This person is currently keeping tabs on you as well, Spirit says. So if you are watching this person, I don't even know that you are, but this person could be keeping tabs on you on social media, for instance. The Queen of Swords. And they're really unsure about how you perceive the whole situation. There's a clarity issue when the Ten of Cups is reversed. It's like, I'm not seeing things clearly right now. I didn't see things clearly in the past. I didn't see the opportunity that was sitting right in front of me. And I didn't see the sort of the weight of that potential. So this person's really feeling that. We have the Magician. There's an emphasis on wanting to communicate with you in an ideal world. You have the High Priestess. And they are feeling like in the past that they had blinders on when it came to the potential. And there's a feeling of them keeping their feelings hidden. Keeping their feelings hidden from you in the past as well, because there's like a shyness to this person. They could be really shy. They could be a really emotional person with the King of Cups. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, potentially. There's a strong influence on Gemini and Aquarius here for the Divine Feminine. We have the Fool. And in the present moment, this person still feels very strong emotions for you. But sometimes he's had to turn his back, or they have had to turn their back on that emotion to focus on their responsibilities. And there's a sense of them having to maintain this watcher position. They are intimidated by you, and they do wish that you would reach out to them. Ace of Pentacles. Back of the deck is the Four of Swords, and we have the Ten of Wands. And with this person, you know, they still think of you often too. And there's an emphasis with the Four of Swords on the disappointment, on the reality of your current situation. Sorry, my throat's closing. The reality on the current position of the Divine Masculine here, who may be in another dynamic, for instance, at this time, which forces them to have to maintain this watcher position. But it is a burden that they carry with them everywhere. You know, this Ten of Wands is a burden that I'm carrying because they want to act really impulsively towards you, but they know that that could create a lot of complications for you or for them, because they do think about communication quite a bit when it comes to you. But I feel like they're hoping that you will reach out to them so that they will perhaps not have to reach out to you. Very similar energies here. Both conflicted. We have here boat, money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. I think of the Six of Swords, so somebody who hasn't moved on and who is seeking some sort of clarity here. But they can't approach at this time. It says bear, danger, especially in money matters. And there's a sense of like being a mother bear or guarding something protective or something very important. For instance, not necessarily just money, but positions as well. And not wanting to create havoc for you. Again, if they're aware of your position. We have key, successful outcome to your problem. And we have skull and we have dolphin. The skull says hidden secrets can harm you. And the skull is a reality that's hit them very hard. And it's filled with grief. The same sort of internal conflict, the emotional and physical destitution of the Five of Pentacles is definitely mirrored over here on this side for your person. And there's an emphasis on flirtation in the past and how they wish that they could kind of take that flirtation that they experienced with you in the past and bring it into the current realm here. We have stork, news of a birth or new business opportunity. And the stork is like a symbol of wait. And so there's this feeling of them waiting for news. But also they have evolved into, they have moved into a position of perhaps even fatherhood or motherhood. With the King of Cups, there's an emphasis on parent or children coming in for me as well. So that could be why they feel like they have to maintain their position at this time and maintain this hold. This retreat energy of the Four of Swords. They don't have intentions of letting it go, and it's still plaguing them to this day. But there, again, another emphasis on wanting to connect with you, wishing that you would reach out to them if you're able. How are they currently feeling about pile 2, please? Is it mutual? Religious factors are affecting your spiritual path. I always think of marriage with that card. So they may be privy to practical investments you've made in the present realm, or they are now communicating that they are not available at this time, but they've recognized that this is the romance of a lifetime. They've had epiphanies about you. It says your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. It came out reversed. There is this acknowledgement that they know that they can't approach and that they may have to potentially carry this energy with them forward for a long time. And now we have forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. There's a recognition here too on wondering if you're angry, because there's this feeling of intimidation that keeps coming through with the Queen of Swords, wondering if they reached out to you, if you would be angry with them for conflicts or for lack of action in the past, or perhaps even making you feel like you were a bit of just an option when that wasn't the truth of the situation. How do they feel right this moment, please, for pile number 2? Be at home and time to let go. Back of the deck is Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit, and it's reverse. It's like they don't have the strength to be able to create change in their environment right now. They have to focus on responsibilities, which is why they at times have to turn their backs on their emotions for you so that they can focus on that home realm. And they are emphasizing that they know it's probably, they can't move on, so they want peace, they want closure with that Six of Swords energy, and so they are trying to communicate that they feel like it would be logical for them to release and to start the healing process, but they haven't figured out how to accomplish that at this time. What are some of the thoughts they've had about pile number 2, please? How do they truly feel? Is it mutual? I've been hurt by love before, and they've been hurt by this connection. Frustration that you've experienced in the present realm and the continuation of kind of looking backwards, it stings them too. I want to dedicate a song to you. So there could be a song that has your name or really embodies the energy that they feel towards you. Music really brings them back to a time and place when it comes to this connection. I was in denial. I also just saw I've looked into tarot readings. I'm going to take action, but I'm planning an approach. They do want communication with you. They keep thinking about that and the risk that they'd have to take. I'm really sensitive deep down, but I'm putting up a front when it comes to this connection. When it comes to my attraction for you, I have to put up a front. But I am very sensitive. They definitely could be a fire energy, or I'm sorry, a water energy. It says, you will hear from me soon. Back of the deck says, I am always reminded of you. What are some of the thoughts and feelings that pile 2's person has about pile 2 at this time, please? I have a lot of distractions in my life right now that force me to turn my gaze away from this connection. But I do miss you terribly. I just wonder if you miss me as well. And there is a strong emphasis on you missing this person quite a bit. There's this emphasis on the separation and how it worries you. I thought that it would be easier to walk away. I want you so badly. And I watch your social media. And I can still hear your laugh. Back of the deck says, I don't know how to let this go. They keep telling themselves that they should, but every time they get to that point of knowing they should release, they fall back. They think about reaching out. They think about holding on to the connection. Very, very intense connection between the two of you for you, pile 2. Let's get a charm bowl. What is the last thought that pile 2's person had about pile 2 in the bowl today? We have the Page of Cups, we have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Wands. So the last thought they had was this impulse to reach out to you in some sort of way, but they immediately their thoughts went to foundations, went to the consequences of those actions as well, and so they retreated with that thought, and they kind of pushed it into the fantasy realm. Curious about what you're up to, curious about how you're experiencing the separation. Whoops. We have the Three of Swords, sadness, disappointment, could be third party. We have police reversed. We also have here the skull and crossbones with the pirate charm. And I think about inability to commit and reality and grief. Made with love, I think of children, looking at things from a higher perspective before we make choices and decisions with the Pegasus. Watermelon, so intense sexual attraction. And a fairy, so there's this emphasis on not knowing if it's possible, if this connection is mutual. So they wonder about the same thing as well. And then we have give the girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world, Marilyn Monroe. So you don't see how this person perceives you, but the truth is that they put you up on this really strong pedestal. You know, Marilyn Monroe was the embodiment of the beautiful feminine energy. And so you don't see what they see, but it feels very mutual to me, pile 2. All right, that is what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I would love to hear your story in the comments section below, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed and join our beautiful soul family here. You can drop your comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. And you can also check out my links below for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to. And on Instagram, I have an opportunity this week to win a free mini read, so be sure to check that out as well. But I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I hope that you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the green malachite or to the happy tarot here, and this is your reading. We're doing a comparison today. Is the feelings mutual between you and the person on your mind? And we're going to start with your feelings for the person on your mind, and then we're going to move over and spend a little bit more time on them and how they're truly feeling for you so that we can compare the two energies. But how do you currently feel about this person on your mind, pile 3? How does pile 3 currently feel about their person at this time? Knight of Swords. The Ten of Swords. The Three of Cups. We have the Queen of Pentacles on the back of deck, so we're going to clarify this. How do you currently feel about the person on your mind? The King of Swords, emphasis on Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. The Nine of Wands. And the Three of Swords. Back of the deck is the Two of Swords, and we have the Ten of Wands. You know, it's interesting because Spirit says that there's this emphasis on you thinking that this person was going to take action in the past, or you were feeling impulsive to take action in the past, and it's like we ran out of time, or we were too late, or somebody was too late, and then all of a sudden our expectations weren't realized. And so the Ten of Swords is this devastation that things haven't worked out, devastation that we didn't get what we want in the present energy because we had our heart and soul set upon this person because we really felt like this was our person. But I feel like things get in the way, and things have gotten in the way. There could be third party here because there's an inability for you to commit at this time, but there's also this inability for you to release at the same time. It's like muddled with this realization or a clarity that maybe you feel like you should let go, but also this intense pressure to hold on to it. It's like I know perhaps logically I should release it, but my heart is fighting this logic at this time, and it's making me want reunions with my friend, with someone that I flirted with heavily. One of you is really funny, really sarcastic in your humor, and I feel like they made a huge impression on you. But there's such frustration and devastation truly in the present moment because I didn't get what I want, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get what I want. And there's just so much heartbreak surrounding that because I've attached so much value to this connection. It's a burden that I carry with me. All of this sparks, the sparks between the two of us that had nowhere to go. And now it's like I can't let it go. The Two of Swords is somebody who is closing up that heart space because they're afraid to release it. They're afraid to be vulnerable and let it go. But they were also perhaps, that could be what perhaps contributed to what put us in this position in the first place of like inaction, turning our back on our true emotions and carrying that burden instead of expressing something here. We have the Seven of Pentacles and we have the Ace of Swords. And this feels like a really strong example of a time when we really thought we could have it all and we just waited too long. It's like we thought we had more time. And now there's this real strong devastation that we don't have as much time as we thought we did. And even in the present energy, the Ten of Swords is someone who's still having an emotional response to that pain. And it's an indication here too that you still want solutions towards clarity. You still want solutions towards reunions in this situation. but there is this feeling of like not taking any action to create it, and feeling like I can't take action to create any sort of clarity here, because perhaps someone has moved into a third party, your person has moved into a third party, perhaps you have as well. But take that as it resonates to your situation. How does this person feel about pile 3 in comparisons? How are they truly feeling at this moment? Is it mutual, the energy between the two of you? Queen of Wands. There's an emphasis on them. Ooh, there's an emphasis on them thinking that they did keep the Queen of Wands waiting. You have the 5 of Swords, frustration, reversed. And you know, with this card, it's sort of, there is a sense of mirroring energy to the 10 of Swords in a way, because the 5 of Swords reverse is asking for a fair fight and peace after the problems. They're seeking peace too. You know, they want to have clarity in the situation. They want to be free of some of the internal conflicts that they have been fighting through. And in this card with the 5 of Swords, he keeps shooting that arrow and he keeps missing, right? So there's a consistency in the thoughts that they've had about you, even in the present, that it's been habitual for them, that they think about you quite often. And it's taken them some time to clear out some of the emotional clutter that you're experiencing right now. How do they feel right this moment, please? To say that they weren't intimidated by you in the past would be an understatement. They put you on a high pedestal because they were very, very attracted to you. Now they're intimidated because they don't know what your perception is of them in this moment. They also feel like you could have moved into a different period of your life where your focus is different. You could have evolved into motherhood, for instance, or, you know, a really strong focus on the practical realm. The Knight of Cups. And in the past, they want you to know that just because they didn't act towards you in a way that was really aggressive doesn't mean that they didn't care. In fact, the evidence was there that they did care quite deeply. They felt the electricity between the two of you, but they really let their fear of the unknown get in the way. Their intimidation of going down that pathway, and they wanted to explore it, but it's like when we miss, and I say this a lot, you know, when we miss a day of work, when we miss a day of school, and we procrastinate in things, it becomes more and more difficult each day that we procrastinate. It's like the problem gets bigger and bigger in our eyes. It's not the truth of the situation. You know, we're still facing the same dilemmas of going back and facing the music, so to speak. But the more that they delayed in the past of this connection, the more vulnerable they felt. And so they want to come forward with almost like an apology. It's like, I'd like peace after this. It's like Queen of Swords, but they're worried that you're angry at them. Look at the way this Queen of Swords looks. She doesn't look very impressed. And you know, swans in general can be very intimidating. They can be very aggressive. And so there's this emphasis on wondering if you're angry at them in the present. And wondering if you're waiting for clarity too. We have the World. Because there's an acknowledgement that a lot of time has passed. All of the 4 seasons being represented here in the World tree. And an emphasis on how timing was an issue here. They didn't act in time. And now timing is an issue here because the seasons keep going, which is just allowing this person more and more time to filter through some of the internal conflict that they've had about you. And they have grown and they have evolved. Emphasis on Libra energy here. They've definitely grown and evolved as far as placing blame upon themselves. They perhaps tried to skirt away without feeling that blame, but it's caught up to them. There's still a spark here. There's still a spark, but they're afraid to shoot that shot at this time because they don't know if there's clearance for you. They don't want to interrupt anything that you have involved or invested in at this time. And so they want to bring about clarity. They think about communication with you, but they're waiting for there to be clearance or room for growth. How do they currently feel, please, about pile number 3? You have ear, good news reversed, waiting to hear from you. It's like in a perfect world, you would reach out to them because it's like they don't want to face you since they're intimidated. We have Moon, changes in your life, and October reversed. We're in October when I recorded this video, and so there's a sense of really noticing with the changing of the seasons, really paying attention to timing slipping away and opportunities slipping away. We have coins, and on the floor we have you should accept valid criticism. So someone who has definitely been judgmental towards themselves and the situation in general, but they're starting to recognize where they went wrong. They're starting to feel the consequences of their actions because now they're feeling that intimidation coming in from you. And we have a whale, great worry over nothing, because they are really scared to come forward towards you, to express themselves. And that's what caused the delay in the first place. And they recognize now that they, that fear has just followed them. It's tagged along. And they perhaps had great worry over nothing in the past, because if they would have just acted, it would have matched your expectations and there would have been celebration. And now they're starting to realize the same sort of worrying is following them here, because they're worried about you and your perception of things and how you would receive them. So they could be worried that you're going to cut their head off here with the Queen of Swords. You can see the bear guarding, the sunset is coming, but it's guarding the entrance of that cave. And so now they're worried still to express themselves towards you about how they're going to be received. How do they truly feel at this moment for pile number 3? We have stay optimistic, but it's sideways. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking will bring you romance. Pay attention to the red flags. It's also sideways. The signs are cautioning you. And we have here wedding. The situation is involving marriage. So one or both of you may have moved into commitment cycle in this moment. And we have released your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Reversed, because they don't know how to do that. And I feel like you don't know how to do that either. So it's a very mirrored energy here in the frustration between the two of you. Different dynamics as far as, what's fueling the frustrations, but still very mirrored energy on this desire for reunion, desire for clarity between the two of you as well. The problem here is that closure for your person means sparking it up again. That's the issue. How do they truly feel about pile number 3, please? We have here Spirit has your back, looking at things from a higher perspective. And says be generous of spirit. And that's one of the things that they've learned through this situation, through this disconnect, is the fact that they should have been more forthcoming. They should have acted more quickly. They should have not let fear of you or intimidation stop them from speaking their truth in the past. Cow spirit, the miracles are endless, number 15. I do think about the devil energy, Capricorn with 15, and attachment and codependent energy. So I feel like this is a very mutual situation between the two of you. Let's get a couple of message cards to see where their thoughts have been. How have they currently thought about pile number 3, please? This is far from being over. 13 reverse, but they feel stuck. The 13, the death energy can sometimes come at a cost. If we want to open up a new doorway, we have to close off a doorway first. What do you even see in me? What are their thoughts and feelings towards pile 3 at this time, please? I want to get back what we had, but it's the 6 of Cups reversed. They wonder if it's realistic for them to be able to achieve that with you. Is it realistic for them to think that you want the same things? And there's an emphasis on friendship here as well. But there's someone else coming up over the wedding card. And that could be why the 13 energy is here in the first place in a state of inertia. We have unfinished business, the World. And yin, it's coming out in the reversal. You are the yin to their yang. If I called you, would you answer? Because they think about communication quite a bit, and they look in the past quite a bit of this connection, and they kick themselves like I ruined everything that I touch in this connection. What are some of the thoughts that they've had today about pile number 3, please? How do they currently truly feel? Finding out the truth crushed me. Having these epiphanies, realizing the mistakes that they've made, crushed them. Finding out perhaps later on that you felt the same way, crushed them. You speak to me through music. My life is not as together as it seems. So despite connections, despite commitments, You have to look at the situation from a higher perspective to see the spiritual truth. I want to feel that way again, but they don't know if it's realistic to hope for that. I'm burying myself in work to forget you. And we have, I wish that I had treated you better. They have a lot of desires that they wish they could redo. A lot of moments. I don't know how hard, you don't know how hard it was to let you go, and how hard it is, I feel like, to currently try to release this connection. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 3. What was the last thought that pile 3's person had about pile 3 in the bowl? The 2 of Pentacles, still holding on, wants to take action but can't in this moment. Planning perhaps too, ultimately in the future, but also having an inability to commit at this time. Oops, lost one on the floor. An inability to commit because of opportunities in love at the moment. Here's the King of Wands reversed. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Oops, we have 2 coming up for you. The High Priestess and the King of Swords. So them, a lot of their thoughts, the recent thoughts of you, pile 3, is revolving around their secret thoughts and everything they have to keep suppressed because they don't have the confidence, they're not ready at this moment to create a plan of action at this time. But they may have intentions ultimately to try to clear out clutter between the 2 of you. But now they're saying it's not the time. In the bowl we have Kiss. And we have an unfinished business with the world that has a striation through it, a crack through it. There's a lot of innocence surrounding this connection with the cherries. I think of virginity, I think of innocence, and wanting to move this into a more fiery connection. We have opportunity from 1999. We have the leaf of change, and we have the praying hand. So somebody who has prayed about this. We have the 4-leaf clover for good luck, and we have the anchor of stagnation. And I feel like there was luck on both of your sides to express something in the past, but fear really got in the way here. And now with the stagnation, the anchor is all about things in the practical realm that are holding us back from taking action with our epiphanies. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. My throat's just closing at the perfect time. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear your story below in the comments section, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed by hitting your notification bell, your like button, and be sure to drop me that comment so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my links below for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to, and you can also check out Instagram, and this week I actually have an opportunity on Instagram to win a free mini read, so be sure to check that out too. But I hope that you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.